Greetings and salutations, everyone. I'm back after a little bit of time away with another movie review. This is one that I've been saving specifically for this time of year, and that's for The Nightmare Before Christmas, which initially I did not like at all. When this first came out, I was working at a movie theater, and there was this huge ad campaign for it. We had to create these huge window murals for all sorts of artwork from the movie. We created a bunch of paper mache tree trunks to look like that holiday forest that Jack comes across in the movie. We had all sorts of like little promotional items like buttons and posters, and some of which I still have. But for this preview screening, for some reason, we had to head all the way across town to another theater to check this movie out and make sure that the prints were, put together right. Now, for those in the Tampa area, this involved driving from Brandon out to Hyde Park. For those not from around that area, it's a long and annoying drive involving an expressway that takes you all the way across town, right next to the city, into an older area of town with very narrow streets and very, very difficult to find parking in those areas as well. But a coworker and I headed out there and we checked it out. And something about it just didn't hit home at all for both of us. While it could have been this long drive late at night, typically these previews are at midnight or so, might have affected my opinion and his. I really don't think so. We were even making jokes about the lyrics of the songs and, about how it's going to end up in our smallest theater because nobody's going to see this thing. We weren't exactly right on that. I mean, people did come out and see it. The movie did okay, but this definitely didn't have the kind of business that we'd seen in previous years with stuff like Jurassic Park or The Fugitive or anything like that. But it didn't outright bomb like Car 54, Where Are You?, which we pulled from most of our showings only halfway through the day to make room for other movies that people will actually go and see. If you haven't seen Car 54, Where Are You?, don't worry, nobody else has. I think maybe 3 people in the entire world. Anyways. So months later, perhaps even longer, because this is back when it actually, took a bit more time for something to come out on home video. I was on what, looking back, was likely a date, I guess. I'm clueless about, what is a casual meetup versus an according to Hoyle date. But at any rate, this is somebody else who I worked with. We went out, got some Chinese food. Everything's cool. Things are going well. It's a video rental place next door. So she decided, let's rent a movie and bring it back to her place. She chose The Nightmare Before Christmas, and of course I was not too happy about this because I really didn't care for the movie. But the night was going well and I was enjoying the company, so I figured why not give this movie a second chance. Now, I assume some are curious about this, but no, nothing else happened besides us hanging out and watching a movie. Like I said, I'm clueless. But, because that's not what this video is about. It's about the movie, and I don't know what it was about the second time through. I not only enjoyed it, but I really loved this film on that second viewing. Something about that second time through just really pulled me in, and I just kind of got it somehow. So, I think part of it was me knowing what I was getting into, kind of having that initial viewing, trying to understand what, Tim Burton and Henry Selick and all of them were bringing to the screen. And also thinking of it more as a Christmas movie rather than some sort of a Halloween film. Because I think when I first went to see this film, a lot of the marketing seemed to push a little more of this Halloween mood initially. I was wanting some really spooky stuff, but the story, while it starts on Halloween, it's all about Jack's discovery of Christmas and his obsession to reproduce it in Halloween Town. That must have turned me off initially, that I probably just wanted more Halloween stuff and not as much Christmas. But the second time through, knowing what this focus was of the film and how these holidays are represented, along with other details within Jack's story, his obsession, Sally's love for him and her yearning to be free of the professor, and find purpose in something new, it all hit really well. And I went from not really liking it, actually borderline hating the film and even making fun of it, that it would bomb, to really enjoying it, liking it a lot. I actually bought a copy of it on Laserdisc back in the day. Even got to the point where I hung up a framed poster in my home. I bought it on DVD and then later Blu-ray, and buying the soundtrack and shirts, which, yes, I actually still have some Nightmare Before Christmas shirts here. I will fit into them again one day, I promise. But I have other things. My little Jack coffee mug. Little cup, of course. And you might have seen on some previous videos where I make incense burners out of bottles. There's one of my Jack and Sally ones for the holidays. And this one, depending on what time of year, for around Halloween, you keep this side up, then you switch it to another tree trunk to have Christmas. So yeah, I went from really hating this movie to absolutely falling in love with it. And I think that says something where sometimes you'll watch a movie, it just doesn't really hit with you and you need to kind of give it another viewing, knowing a little bit more, a little bit more about it going into it. Now, now that this movie over the years has become, discovered and rediscovered by so many people, I don't want to be one of those people, who says, well, I was there at a preview screening, actually. No, I'll say I hated that film when it came out. I absolutely hated it. And somehow after a second viewing about a year later, I completely fell in love with it and have held on to that love ever since. I think it's a great movie. So needless to say, I'm going to recommend this film to any who've not seen it. The only warning I will give is that, in my opinion, and this is, highly contested from a lot of people, since it's about Jack finding or trying to reproduce Christmas in Halloween Town, I think it should be viewed more as a Halloween movie rather than, or sorry, more of a Christmas movie rather than a Halloween movie. Perfect way to watch it, in my opinion, is to watch it on November 1st. Within that first week of November, when you've just wrapped up a lot of the Halloween stuff and all the Christmas songs are starting to play on the radio, that's where this one kind of fits in well. It's a good way to kind of transition from Halloween into the Christmas season. And yeah, I think it's a great film and I think you should check it out. Speaking of checking things out, this is a nice short video. I just wanted to say thank you for checking it out. This little deviation from my usual kind of videos here. Be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, all those fun things. It really does help the channel out a lot. And hit that little notification bell so that way you know when I put something up here. But anyways, that's about all I have for now, and I'll see you in the next one.